right now I want to work on cleaning my lifters. I have half of them done already. And so I have, and they look like this when I get it all cleaned up. It's not too bad. So I have half of them done already. I need half the other half to do. So this is what it looks like. Pretty gross and nasty. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a little clip in there. You can see that. So what I've found works is a pair of needle nose pliers. And I'll move the bucket out of the way. A pair of needle nose pliers. And I try to get in between the clip and the side. Give it a squeeze. Get a big screwdriver, push down in the center. Work that clip out. Don't squeeze that clip too hard. It's just a small little piece of metal. And I'll stick that in the bucket. Oh. Now, there's another little cup in there. And that is black, nasty oil that's in there. So we'll put that in there. Now there's a little sleeve or something in there. I'll get my needle nose pliers, hook onto it just ever so slightly, give it a twist till I got enough room that I can grab it, pull it out. Then there's a spring down in there. There went the spring in there. Then we go walk over to the wash tank. And we come over to the trusty wash tank. Put a little bit of the good stuff in there. Find my lid. Put my lid on her. Give it a shake. Yeah, that's nasty. Now that we got all the parts cleaned, this is the same one. You probably can't see in there, but it's actually a lot cleaner in there. All these parts are a lot cleaner than they were. So first, we drop the little spring back in. You put this guy back in. Now comes the fun part. Once again, I got the clip in my needle nose pliers. Slide the screwdriver through. Push down to compress the spring. Make sure it's in the groove. And voila! Another one cleaned. Alright. Now I have a block of wood here. So when I took them out of the engine, I put them all in their spots. So I just took them out and laid them on the bench, the dirty ones. So now I'm just going to, as I clean them, I just put them back in the holes. And we'll go all the way through so that I know that they're all in the right places. And I can put them back in the engine. So let me clean the rest of them. And then we'll get them in. Alright guys. Next I want to see if we can get the heads on this engine. We got it all cleaned up. I got the surface all wiped down with some brake cleaner. I've re-oiled the cylinders. And what else have I done? Oh, I've gone through all the threads here on the block, on the head, on every piece that I put together. I've gone through with a tap on all the threads and a die on all the bolts, cleaned them all up as best as possible so that we can get the best sealing. So when I get time to put the bolts in, I can torque them down. Now, we're just going to put ever so slightly so I can get this to work. Thin little bead of sealant, like I said, can get to work. I don't know, it's my first time. There. Alright, now I've got our gasket. Put that on. Same on this side. Alright, moment of truth. Alright. I made up this block of wood, has all the bolts in it, exactly how I took them out, and all the push rods. We'll get to the push rods. First off, we're going to put all these bolts back in here. Man, I'm going to do the same on the other side. Alright, let's put some lifters in. Alright, I'll put a... I think what I'm going to do, get a nice clean hand. I'm going to put some engine oil in my hand. Then I'll grab these lifters and slide them into place. That's one. I don't know if they need the extra lube, but first, these things are going to be flying up and down right away, and I don't want them to be dry. Slipping and sliding. I'm putting them in upside down. Huh. I gotta put them in like that. Helps when you put them in the right way. I think I put them all upside down, so I got to put them back in again. All right. Carry on. There you go. That's all the lifters, I guess. What else can we put in there? Push rods? Why not? Then they don't get them mixed. They won't get less chance of them getting mixed up. That's all the passenger ones. What else can we put in there? Push rods? Why not? Then they don't get them mixed. They won't get less chance of them getting mixed up. Wow. Now that looks cool, huh? He's coming together. I guess before I get too carried away, I better torque these bolts down. Oh wait, there's probably a pattern to this. Alright, next step we want to do is get the rocker arms on. So let's see. Driver's side. I'll find out the torque specs for that. Crank them down. But I might as well put the passenger side on as well. Alright. Before we get carried away, I know it looks like I'm going backwards. I'm back on the bottom end of the engine. I got the oil pan off, but I'm not really going backwards. I did not put the oil pan gasket on because I didn't have, there was a bolt I was missing that was broke off from the oil pan when I first took it apart. The bolt didn't break when I was taking it off, mind you, it was just broke. It was not existing. So, I now have a new bolt. So I figured, let's get this bottom finished, let's get this buttoned up, get this done. Line's all up nice, except for it's sitting on top of this bolt for this cover. So I'm just going to notch that out a little bit so it sits flat. I don't like how it's sitting up like that. There. Just a hair more. There. That sits nice all the way around. It also covers up half this hole. Not quite sure what that hole is for. So where that hole goes, it's gotta come. It's gotta go up top for a reason. So we'll just trim that out a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. Just so that that hole is a little more open. There. That's just better. We're going to go with it. So we're going to put this back on. There. That should be the oil pan. Alright. Oil pan installed. Awesome. Now let's move on to the oil pump. Oil pump. According to the book, what we need to do is fill that cavity with petroleum jelly. Let's see how this fits in here. cool. Okay. I need to fill this whole thing with petroleum jelly. Vaseline. Apparently the Vaseline is going to help it prime once we get this sucker running. Because we are going to get it running. That is the plan. Now the book says fill the cavity. That's a lot of jelly. If I fill that thing, am I going to be able to get these gears in there? So we're going to goop her up real nice. And the gears. Yeah, the book says fill the cavities. Well, that's pretty good and filled. It's supposed to... Yeah. And now for the cover. There's a pressure relief valve that goes down in here. So first we're going to put a little bit of engine oil on there just to give it a little bit of lube. And we'll stick her in there. So just put a little bit of engine oil in my hand. And we're going to lube that up a little bit, make it slippery. And we're going to stick that in there. With the spring. Just like that. All right. Just reading the instructions in the book, and there's supposed to be a gasket around here and on this plug. Well, my kit didn't come with one. Either that or I lost it already. So we're just going to put a dab of this sealer, of this make your own gasket stuff. We're going to put that around here after I drop it on the ground. We're going to put that around here and see if that'll do it. So we're just going to put this on here. Yeah, that's my finger tight. We'll let that harden up, and then we'll torque it down. Meanwhile, we'll put this gasket on too. And you see there's a big hole here, and my gasket's going to cover that. I'm assuming this hole is there for a reason, and for some reason my new gasket wants to cover that hole up. For some reason I don't think that's a good idea. So just going to put some of the bolts in to hold it in place. I'm just going to give it a little tap, see if I can trace out that hole. And take that out. Gotta be a reason for that big honking hole in there. Don't put holes that big in there just for fun. Alright, you got that gasket all notched out nicely. We're going to put this on top now. Alright. I don't know what those are supposed to torque to. I don't even know how to torque that. Let's see. I guess now's as good a time as any to put the new oil filter on. I'm just going to put some fresh oil on this seal. Alright. Put the new oil filter on. What does it say here? 3/4 return. So 3/4. So that would be 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So these dots are supposed to be there. Right there. Alright, let's 3/4 turn around. Now, I was reading the instructions for this guy. I found out I was supposed to put that sealant on both sides of this oil pan gasket. Now I squished it all down already. Do I leave it? I better pull it off. I think there's a gap right in there. I better pull it all off and do it again. You guys don't need to see me do it all, but we're going to take it apart. I'm going to put some of that sealer on there. Get her done. Next thing I want to do is put the intake manifold on. Before we do that, just going to put a little dab of sealer right in these corners. Got these two rubbers, notches on one side, the other side's solid. I'm not quite sure which way they go. Well, I'm going to go and put the notches outward. Instructions say to use more of this silicone sealer wherever the gasket and the seals meet. They mean I gotta go around all those dang ports? I guess so. Man, I'm not got much of a hand left. This movie was getting a little long, so I want to shorten it up a little bit. So yes, I got the rest of the bolts all torqued down, and I painted it blue. I painted it. But before I painted it, I took my knife and I went around all of the gasket sealer that was squeaking out of all the joints. I cleaned it all up with my knife, and I put brake cleaner. I sprayed brake cleaner all over all the surfaces. I turned the engine over. I sprayed the top, bottom, sides, you name it. Sprayed it all down with brake cleaner to get all the oil, the grease, the grime, anything that was left on here, I got it all off. I let that dry, and then I got 3 coats of paint on here. I did a pretty good job. I don't see any major runs anywhere, so I'm pretty happy about that. I taped off a bunch of the surfaces I didn't want to get paint on. But she's pretty much back together. I have the carburetor on the bench here that we rebuilt, so I can stick that back on. I got to take a look at the distributor yet, the fan, of course, the pulleys. What else we got to stick on here? Oh, my dipstick too. I got to find a new dipstick before I throw some oil in here. But yeah, there she goes, man. That's her. She's back together. That is exciting. I'm excited. It's back together. I have not had an engine this big, that far apart, ever. Will it run? Oh, she's going to run. She's going to make some noise. And I am pumped. I'm excited. So stay with me, guys. We'll get this old girl running. Until then, I'm Big Red.